This is 7 News with Gillian Whiting.
Good evening. Queensland has had its first cyclone of the summer and it came on Christmas Day. We'll have full coverage tonight from our reporters in the far north, Carly Waters in Cairns near where Cyclone Tasha hit, and Erin Edwards is stranded in Cardwell along with dozens of travellers. The Category 1 cyclone crossed the coast between Cairns and Innisfail, causing damage and serious flooding. Reporter Carly Waters was in the middle of it. Carly, how powerful was this system?
Gillian, as far as cyclones go, it was on the weaker end of the scale, but the big threat from Tasha wasn't wind damage but floods, not just here in the far north, but along a large stretch of the Queensland coast. While the far north was sleeping, Tasha was brewing. The Category 1 cyclone crossed at Gordonvale just south of Cairns at 5:30, bringing driving rain and strong winds.
Wow, she's blowing now. The winds are really picking up. Unbelievable.
Reaching speeds of 100 kilometres an hour.
There was a calm, but now we've got the wind coming back again.
It lasted just 10 minutes.
I didn't expect that on Christmas Day, that's for sure.
Horrifying, windy, quite frightening.
Then Tasha was gone.
A lot of water on that around, pretty wet. I didn't even know we were having a cyclone until this morning.
The cyclone was over, but the flooding and persistent rain just beginning. Water covered parks and roads. Despite the warnings and the obvious danger, this P-plater tried to cross the flooded Bruce Highway. He stalled, then reversed, but the current was too strong. His car was swept off the road into churning water. Police called for help. For what seemed like an eternity, the driver sat stunned in the car as it washed away, running the gauntlet of flooded roads, a risk just not worth taking. Finally, he climbed through a window and swam to safety.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. We normally swim it.
And we've already had 20 deaths in the last couple of years, 5 in the last few weeks.
I can't imagine that much water around the place.
It's everywhere. This is the Mulgrave River near Gordonvale. It rose quickly and is now completely overflowing. The old bridge has been cut off, water's gushing downstream. The big worry now, more rain is on the way.
Yeah, it's pretty full at the moment. It's almost as bad as it was at Larry.
Not quite. Still, power was cut to 7,000 homes in the region.
Christmas lunch is ruined now.
Cane was crushed. Trees fell across roads, blocking access to the Gillies Range.
We need some serious help out here.
Christmas commuters told to turn back.
Pretty much ruined it, I reckon. Pretty much ruined everything.
20 minutes north in Cairns, no damage, just rain.
We've seen widespread rainfalls of a good 300 millimetres in the last 24 hours, right through between Cairns, down through Innisfail and Tully.
Christmas is almost over, but the big wet will last a lot longer. Now the Cairns region looks like it may be over the worst of it, but you can't say the same for towns further south along the coastline. It's certainly a Christmas residents in North Queensland won't forget. Gillian.
OK, thank you, Carly. Flash floods damaged 16 homes at Gordonvale, and at Ravenshoe, 2 people were rescued from their rooftop after their house was inundated. There are also concerns for 5 bushwalkers on Hinchinbrook Island. Reporter Erin Edwards is at nearby Cardwell. Erin, any word on the hikers yet?
No, Jill, they haven't. The 3 bushwalkers were meant to be picked up yesterday but failed to arrive, and a search hasn't been possible because of the conditions up here. And spare a thought for the people of Innisfail and Mission Beach. With Cyclone Larry still fresh in their minds, a Christmas Day cyclone was the last thing they needed. Laurie Porter's house withstood Cyclone Winifred, even Larry, but not Tasha, on Christmas morning. Where were you when it happened?
In the piss house.
His roof rocketed off at 6 a.m. What sound did it make?
Just a big bang,
It blasted 200 metres into his Mission Beach paddock.
Then somebody turned the light on. I looked up, there was just plenty of light.
As rain poured through the family home he built in 1967, the 78-year-old rescued Christmas presents for his grand and great-grandchildren.
Can't do much about it now.
Almost everything is ruined. Christmas could be, but not for this retired banana farmer.
Got a fridge full of beer there that'll get used later on.
In Innisfail, there was relief. This wasn't a repeat of 2006.
Oh, only a little bit of wind, that's all. Nothing too serious.
Digger Robson didn't sleep through Cyclone Larry, a Category 5. It devastated the north. $1 billion damage to houses, infrastructure, crops and rainforest. 2.5 hours after the cyclone crossed, its people prayed at Christmas Mass.
God is giving us lots of surprises this Christmas. Oh, the roller doors started to rattle. That's what woke me up and I got a fright.
Between Innisfail and Ingham, the Bruce is blocked. Water's racing over the road at Tully, stranding travellers on Christmas Day. And there's still so much more on its way down the catchments. Jill, as you can see, the Bruce Highway is at a standstill up here. It's cut north of Ingham. Dozens of people are stranded here in Cardwell. And a river level of 7.8 metres has been measured west of Ingham. And all of that is heading downstream towards the Herbert. Jill?
Thanks, Erin. Well, ex-Cyclone Tasha is moving south tonight, putting Queensland's entire coastline on flood alert. The focus now shifts to the central region, which is already feeling the effects of heavy rain and wild winds.
The rain just keeps coming. From Townsville to the Wide Bay, emergency crews were kept busy. The ground is saturated. It's not taking much to flood. Then there's always the threat of strong winds. Mackay was battered today. A band of heavy rain brewed gusts of up to 75 kilometres an hour. Roofs were ripped off homes. Even heavy roadwork signs were blown over. Trees were uprooted, branches snapped and strewn across the streets. Emergency teams battled the wild conditions and there's no end in sight yet.
Still heavy falls in the Mackay region, well over 100 to 200 millimetres.
In Bundaberg, rescue crews were called in to help shop owners stranded by flash flooding.
They just want to see if we can just pump some water out so they can just reseal it and try and save some of their stock.
The Burnett River is rising quickly. Too fast for the owner of this vehicle. Entire football fields are submerged when the high tide laps in. It's all a bit of fun for the locals.
Holly, look at the boat moving!
The list of road closures is growing throughout the region. Still, why let some water get in the way of Christmas cheer? After all, we better get used to it.
Over the next few days, we are expecting the monsoon trough to start to move south, and as a result, heavy rainfall generally over southern and eastern Queensland.
Holiday makers are being warned to rethink their travel plans and stay put. Grace Tobin, 7 News.
Now here's Liz with a look at what's ahead.
Thanks, Jill. While North Queensland continues to feel the brunt of ex-tropical Cyclone Tasha, it is slowly moving south. You can see a rain depression is now moving into the northern highlands and central west. Rain will continue to cause local flooding along the central and Capricornia coasts. Increasing rain forecast for the southeast is a result of a different system. Brisbane could receive 4 times its average December rainfall from a combination of consistent onshore winds and a new upper trough. Rain is expected for Brisbane up until Thursday. There is the chance of some sunshine for the last day of the year. I'll have more on the weather later.
Looking forward to that. Thank you, Liz.